Hey there, I hope you are well. Welcome to this podcast. My name is Virginia Njuguna, and this is my friend's love. Welcome to this episode. Hey, it has been a journey since we began since last month, and up to today, I am so grateful. My team and I, we are so grateful for the feedback that we have got, for the encouragement also, and also for telling us where to work on, how to improve on something. I am so grateful for that. Trust me, we're going to work on that. Na tuna grow to pamoja, si ndio? Like we said from the first time. Tuna grow pamoja pole pole, and I am so grateful for the love, for those who have shared, for the comments. We are so grateful. May the Lord bless you kabisa kabisa. So on this episode, it's going to be short because it's something I had not planned for real. This is about something that happened last night, and it is taking me back to even before we started this entire project, the entire podcast itself. I remember, as I said, I really prayed for this podcast. I remember also on my Instagram, at Njuguna Viji, I was praying and I was writing comments and saying, if you really have a project, pray about it. The first step is just pray about it and seek God's guidance. And then I remember the second post, I also said the next step, how you should really prepare yourself, kabisa. And to be honest, that is how it has been. So something that happened last night. I was so privileged to attend a KSCF training for high schoolers, for high school officials, associates, and my friends and I, we were 4 of us. We were so privileged to accompany our bishop to that place. It was wow. It's something I didn't expect, because we didn't know what is going to happen. And I remember from the very very time I started listening to sermons and even knowing about KSCF, I was like, Virginia, familiarize yourself with what you've been learning from the KSCF when you were in high school, when you are a CEO official, and put yourself in that environment. But above all, one thing, I was so challenged by the 4 people that we went with, my 4 colleagues. They're my 4 colleagues. One of them in Zioka, and then Abigail, and hey, trust me, I will mention your name before I continue. The guy who does the guitar, Byron. Akipole, nakupenda bado. So when we went there, we were prepared, by the way, but we didn't know tutakuwa ambushed, that we were going to present a song. But this is why I was saying I got challenged by the team, because we were to meet at 5 p.m. and then they were like, Virginia, let's meet earlier so that we have our devotion together, pray together so that we go. And we were like, yeah, fine. We met, we prayed. I was so blessed by this. You guys, you know watu wa nguvu, you know watu wa maana sana. So we prayed, and then we proceeded to the location where we were going for the KSCF camp. Actually, I didn't know it was KSCF, but the moment I was told we were going to a high school, I was like, wait, mashule zimefunga, mashule wamefunga. Like, no. I think the camera guys is laughing, but mashule zimefungwa. And what is happening? KCC Lisha like a week ago. What is like a week or 2 weeks ago? Why are we going to a high school? Then it hit me, maybe there's a camp. And I was like, if there's a camp, those are officials, or even there are students from different places or camp pamoja for a camp so that they meet or trainiwe. So that is what I was preparing my mind in. And I wasn't surprised, because at the entrance of the gate was the KSCF training, and it was a good thing. I was so challenged yesterday, because I remember in my heart was so heavy, and it has been heavy for not the longest time ever, but for like a period of a month heavy. And my biggest cry every single day is I look forward to a time where I will go to a place where it's full of youth, but there's They are so praying, like wanaomba, they are worshiping freely without being afraid of what their neighbor will say, or without being afraid of being judged by anyone. And that has been my biggest desire for the last 1 month. And when we got into that hall, where the high schoolers, but that thing really challenged me. Even discussed it with my friends. And then going to the topic of the day, our bishop, who is Bishop Callisto Odede, was sharing a sermon on the spiritual walking, like spiritual, like how alert are you, and then you should walk in spirit. Everything you do, it's just working on your spiritual growth. And I was so challenged. I can't explain how that is. I can't explain details of how the sermon was, but I was so touched by every single thing that happened. But even on sharing the sermon, how many of the CEO officials, many of the people we were with, they gave their lives to Christ at the end of the day. Others received the Holy. Others started speaking in tongues for their very first time. Others were just experiencing something new for the very first time. It was so much joy in the entire hall. And then I was saying, it reminded me of the first time when we were opening this podcast. I remember I was really praying about it. I had a team of my friends who we could hold hands and pray for the project. Because I remember kuna time too, we already started the project the first week. And then in my own busy schedules, I was asking myself, Virginia, what are you doing? Because I knew this project is under God's guidance. But I was so much afraid of doing this project, of doing this podcast under my own pressures. Because I want to do it, because I want people to see that I'm doing it. Then ni kama God alinichapa tu kiboko akaniambia, Virginia, this is not your thing. This is not your thing. This is for me to be God to be glorified through me. And that's a verse that I always look forward to, that and they glorified God in me. And that is what I remember we were praying. I was really praying. I was also being encouraged by my spiritual mom, who is Pastor Nyakeo. And she was like, Virginia, pray. Like, if God tells you go ahead, then go ahead. But if it is not yet God's time for you to do it, also by my friend generally, if it's not God's time for you to start it, don't start it. And I remember the day God answered and said, Virginia, go ahead with the project. My spiritual mom told me, Virginia, you thought you have prayed? Then no, you have not yet. Now this is the time you're supposed now to really, really, really pray for the project. And I have come to realize in my life as a born again Christian, as a friend of God, I've come to see everything is all in prayers. Like everything that I do, the decisions I make, the people I associate myself with, it is all accompanied by prayers. And even God takes you to places where you're like, go. I tell you to go there and do it. And then at times you're so much afraid because there's God. Like when we were going with my friends last night, we were like, are you sure we were meant to go to this thing? Are you sure? But when we got there, and we got to understand God had purposed for us to be there. And also in this project, every single day I am learning, it is God's way. It is God's direction. It is God's guidance, God using me. And I've come to realize one thing I was being told by also my friend is that the pulpit is not for everyone. Hapo kwa altar where the pastors stand, it is not for everyone. There are people who are called to be pastors. You who have been called to another department, God has sent you there for a purpose. So in every department, every place God amekuweka, be it you're a shopkeeper, be it the hustle you do, everything that you do, I have said this is also in another episode earlier, do it as though you're glorifying God. And my desire every single day is that even if whatever I will share, nezongea sana, but I really hope that what you will carry with you is what God has really sent me to share with you. So on that night experience last night, I got to speak in new tongues that I was like, Virginia, this is not you. But God was telling me, Virginia, it's time for you to get to another level. And I also say, even when you get to walk in this journey, like I remember the purpose of this entire podcast is knowing who this friend is, and also understanding is there more to this friendship. And then the how part, which is always practical, is how do you go about our day-to-day life in working and growing in this relationship, because we're human beings. We have our own faults and have our own strengths, but at the end of the day, the good thing is we're children of God. And zile episodes zote tumefanya lately, it has been centered mostly on how do we go about our day-to-day life. But we will go now to this part of, is there more to this friendship, and also is who this friend is. And as I start this, as we not start, tulishaanza, as we're proceeding with this episode, is now working on, is that more to this friendship. Like, I know God as my friend. He has been my friend. And for me to be consistent in prayers, it shows that my relationship with him has to really grow. And I will really love to get I desire to get intimate with God and really get to a place where bado sijafika, but get to a place where I am, God just use me, direct me where I'll go. This time, najua fear iko a step behind me. The fear that always tells me, I, Virginia, not you. Like, that is it. I don't know how to expound more on this, but through the lesson that I learned yesterday, and also what I've been learning through this podcast itself, I have seen it is not by me. It is not me planning that, nitafanya hii episode Wednesday, nitafanya hii episode this other Wednesday. But God has been guiding me. And to be honest, this podcast, it has taught me to be really consistent in prayers. Yes, I see ati sikuwa. Of course, I've been struggling in it. I am being real here. I love being real. I have been struggling in my prayer life. I've been struggling even in reading the Bible, even in disciplining myself to do what is expected of me as a child of God. But God has given me this, my friend's love, this baby to walk, and this baby is teaching me on discipline. This baby is teaching me that, Virginia, it's not only the project, because it also reflects on you. You can't go and talk to people and give people insight, and yet you yourself, you are empty. So it is disciplining me, working on me, and then I go out there and share what really, really, really is expected of me. And as we're continuing with this journey, I would love to encourage you, if you're struggling with praying, you're struggling with even reading the Bible, do not take it too hard on yourself and tell yourself, I'm not growing, I am not a good person. But it's upon you to just tell God, and yeah, God, me, this is my struggle. And as faithful as God is, he will walk with you in this journey. And it is also on your side to take up the mantle and be like, because God akozileza, you're ready, we do this, let's go. Also be ready on your side to really die. Like, you die, you decrease, so that God increases. At times, I remember about prayer. I remember about also prayer. I remember this time early this year. No, it was late last year. Bado tulikuwa time ya COVID, and I had told myself, and remember, this baby, this my friend's love, had already come, but ilikuwa idea. So I was telling myself, Virginia, this week, challenge yourself to pray for every single person unapatana naye kwa barabara. And it was on a Sunday, I remember. So I was like, hiyo tu, let me go ahead and do it. That week nikafanya vizuri. Everyone I encountered, every single person I encountered kwa barabara, like tuna interact, hi uko poa hivo, I will say hi to them. Then naenda job, ilikuwa time ya mask. Naenda job hivi, nashuka hivi kwa kagari, nilikuwa na homa. Nateremsha mask, nashikwa na karao, naambiwa, Virginia. The karao was like, hey, msichana, mbona huna mask? And I was like, nilikuwa na blow, like, umeniona niko na handkerchief. And I was with my friend. So nilikuwa najaribu kujitetea. Yani ile kujitetea, but ananizungusha kwa ule. But do you know, I was so pissed off. I hated, that day nilikuwa nimechukia any person that is a policeman. I was so angry at them. And then, later, nikitoka hapo after tumemalizana na wao, God akanikumbusha, Virginia, you said this week you're praying for everyone you encounter in your way. Where? I even cried. For real, I even cried, because how can I pray for someone amenitocha? Yes, najua niko kwa makosa, nilitoa mask. But mbona anitocha hivyo vyote? But I got to learn it's not even about me. I have accepted to be used of God and by God, then Virginia, do it. And to be honest, at the end of the day, I realized, kumbe Virginia, it was just a simple thing you didn't do. Wewe mwenyewe ndio ulikuwa kwa makosa. But anyway, many of the times tunapatananga na watu, you find you're the person who is not kwa makosa, but tu mwingine ni ako kwa makosa, but you still have to be the jenyekea kidogo and be like, fine, okay. Sometimes you have just to cool down and be like, it's okay. So the bigger lesson I learned last night is how the Lord, how the Holy Spirit, God uses, how God transforms people's life. Every single day right now, nakanga chini, and then I see people who are not born again. I don't judge them, but I look at them from a point of pity, because nikozileza, I am sure I'm saying una struggle, you have this addiction, you really want to let go, but you can't. You have this thing you really are struggling with, you can't even share it with anyone. You can't even try to open your mouth and tell someone, kwa sababu atakujudge, atakuchukia, take all those things against you, and you don't want that. You want just to live a happy life, to show people you have a happy life. I really pity them, but every single day I always say, I will pray for you, that the time that you'll get to encounter Christ, that you'll get to have this relationship and really work on it, you will realize that I was in bondage. I was in a place I didn't know myself. I was in a place I was being defined by things, and I thought everyone is seeing it. But with prayer, me personally, I'll start this and I'll tell you that I will pray for every single one of you. I will pray for you who is my listener, who you know, yes, I'm struggling with this. Yet nimefika hata mimi, by the way. At times I struggle with it, but God always, because I am developing this friendship with my God. I am developing this intimacy, this friendship. I'm coming to realize, Virginia, it's not even about you. It's about you just surrendering it all and walking with God in this journey. And to be honest, itakuwa sawa. So I'll conclude with a verse that our bishop preached. I will not go to details, but it was from the book of Galatians chapter 5. Ilikuwa the entire of it, but there's this part which says, but if you are led by the Spirit, you are not under the law. So, Galatians 5:18. But if you are led by the Spirit, you are not under the law. It's if you go read Galatians chapter 5, all of it, you'll get to know the love fulfills the law. The love of Christ fulfills the law. And if you are led by the Holy Spirit, you'll not be under the law. Let me not expound on that yet. Nisi expound hadi nijipate I am talking too much in this episode. I am sure I'm almost halfway. Sindio? Hata nishapita halfway. But if you are guided by the Holy Spirit, then you will live a life where you're so free and you so willing to share the love of Christ. You're so willing to share what you have in you, that is Christ in you, to many people, and you'll not be bondaged by the law. You'll not be working under the laws that we know have been existing. So this is episode sikuwa nimeipangia, by the way, but out of what that impacted me yesterday, and I know I will still work on it more and more every single day. Galatians 5 verse 16. I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of your flesh. Lust of the flesh. Let me not expound on this, because I have a topic on that in the next 2 episodes to come from here. So let me not expound on it. But my highlight is the young people who are really praying and seeking God, and then many people who got the chance to speak in tongues for their very first time, those who encountered Christ, like where that is the highlight I had. And also it reminded me of when we were before we even began the podcast, how God was telling me, Virginia, it's about you to pray and seek God. And also it's upon you to even know what God has called you into. Maybe God has called you into the intercessory. God has called you into any other department that serves the purpose is to glorify God. Go there and utilize it to the fullest. Go there. Yes, challenges will come along the way, like I said in the previous episode. But if you have God, God is your friend. He's going to walk with you in this. Let me not just expound more on this. So that was my highlight. And see you next Wednesday on a topic that we're going to now. And yeah, welcome to my friends' love. Go share with people. Share with your friends, share with people. Let us come and talk. By the way, talk to us in the hapo chini kwa comment section. Share your ideas. As I said when we were beginning, I am so grateful to every single one of you who took it upon them to even comment, share, and even tell us on where to work on. I am so grateful. Mi nawapenda tu na God azidi kuwabariki na kuonekania. Welcome to My Friends Love, and see you next Wednesday. My name is Virginia Njuguna. You can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, and also on YouTube at My Friends Love. And also you can find me at Njuguna VG on Instagram and Facebook, and tutaendelea kuongea. See you next Wednesday. God bless you.